Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mindful Monday. I'm Allie Sweeney. I'm excited to have you all here today. It's wonderful to see you all coming in to meditate with us, to be mindful today. And our topic today is gratitude, but not necessarily that gratitude that we put out in the world. It's about how we receive gratitude and what that really feels like. So, kind of turning gratitude spotlight inwards today. So, that isn't always the most comfortable place to sit. So, I'm really proud of you for showing up today, and I'm super excited to get into it. I want you to grab something to write on and something to write with because we're going to have some moments today where I want you to be kind of journaling or capturing your own thoughts and feelings about what we're talking about. So do that. And we're also open up your chat because we're going to have you, yeah. And Fuel says, good morning, everyone. Hello. So we're going to have you use the chat too. So open that up. And I want to start today off with what's called a personal victory exercise. And I learned this from another fuel instructor. His name's Brian Byro. So you should check him out when you're on fuel. His lessons are so inspiring and so incredible. But what he does with the personal victory exercise is, and I want you to do this, you can capture it on your paper if you want, or you can just think about it and let yourself really fall into it. But really, I want you to think of a time when you were at your best. Something that really, was felt like, wow, this is it. This is what I can do in this life. Just one of those moments. And it can be a small moment when you felt really good. It can be a big moment when something incredible happened. But let yourself really relive that moment. How did it feel when it happened? What made it great? Just how this kind of capturing the idea of how this moment really aligned with who you are in this life. Just see if you can notice the feelings associated with that. See if you can name them, maybe even capture them on your paper or just in your mind. And then I really want you to notice what that feels like in your body. So, what did it feel like when you had this incredible moment, something that you felt successful or some sort of victory that you had in this life? What did that feel like in your body? And then I want you to see if you can bring in gratitude for that moment. Be really grateful that that moment happened for you, whatever it was, big or small. Just feeling into noticing gratitude and feeling it in your body. What does that feel like? Being really grateful that that moment happened. Hopefully, everybody is thinking of something, feeling it. Awesome. It can feel good to really remember these moments in our lives. Feel how energizing that is. That's what it feels like to me. And then in the chat, I want you to put one word. What does gratitude feel like in your body? For me, it feels like my chest expands, like I have more room to breathe. It feels almost relaxing in some way. So just consider what did that gratitude, when you touched into that moment, that personal victory, what did the gratitude feel like? Did it feel grounding? Did it feel peaceful or energized? Just pop it in there and we'll keep on moving here. So valued, yeah. And that's what it feels like for me too. Absolutely. It's just you feel valued. And I'm hoping you're all feeling this feeling of gratitude because that's what I want to demonstrate today is that you're all capable of feeling gratitude and really feeling it. But I think that we've all been there where you've shrugged off a compliment, right? Somebody says something that, they're really grateful for you, and you say, oh, it was nothing, or, you think of the one thing that went wrong, or you somehow deflect it. I think we've all seen or witnessed or been that person who doesn't let the gratitude in. And to me, this feels like the word that came to me, and it kind of cracks me up that it's so similar to gratitude, but the word that came to me is platitude. So, platitude is when there is some statement that sounds good, sounds wise, sounds comforting, but it feels empty because you're not really having an emotional connection with it. And so, I wanted to see, I'm going to try to put up a poll here. Okay. And if you'd answer this, right, I find it easy to accept gratitude from others most of the time, some of the time, or almost never, right? Do you feel this sense of platitude? Like when somebody says something really kind or generous to you, is it easy for you to accept it, to let it in? I'll be honest, for me, this is something that's pretty difficult in my life. I have to be very intentional about letting it in. My instinct is to just kind of sweep it off. Sorry, I just saw the chat where Fuel says, never. It's never easy to accept gratitude. And it looks like, we've got some people here, we've got some people there that it is easy to accept and it's not. And I want to just talk to what makes it difficult. And there's some research that is very clear that a lot of people do struggle to receive appreciation from others. And sometimes it's not because we don't want it, it's because it feels vulnerable or we don't believe that we deserve it. So thanks for sharing. I'm going to stop the poll, and we're kind of all over the place in there. And you can see, I'll share the results with you. Okay. Um, but I wanted to share just a little bit of the research on this. So Brene Brown, she's well known for researching vulnerability, and she says that being seen that in a positive light is can feel just as exposing as being criticized. So when someone says like, I appreciate you, you've made a difference, for some people that can feel really risky or intimate. And so your instinct is to kind of, push it away or deflect it. So that's what I just wanted to bring in that poll is just like when someone appreciates you, what is your instinct? To take it or to brush it off? Because another aspect of this is that we know from psychology research is that you can only receive appreciation to the level you believe you deserve it. So if your inner dialogue is pretty critical or judgmental, or you think you should have done more, or it wasn't that big a deal, then the praise that is coming toward you doesn't match what you believe to be true on the inside. And so your brain just sort of rejects it as inaccurate data. Like, well, that doesn't even count. Okay, so that's where that gratitude really starts to feel like platitude, that hollow or generic, something that's said that's not really meant for you. So I want you to be thinking about what are the ways that you're limiting believing positive things about yourself? And or where in your life do you tend to hold yourself to some impossible standards? Because that's the other aspect of this is if you have standards that you could never meet, then it's going to be hard to feel grateful because you're never going to meet them. So this judgment, this inner critical voice often keeps gratitude from landing. And we don't value our efforts or ourselves in some way. Because that could be one of the beliefs that's keeping you from this, is that you really don't deserve it. But other times we've been taught that recognizing ourselves is selfish or too proud. And I would offer that if you are someone who was aware of that, right? If you're concerned about being selfish or too proud, then you really aren't someone who needs to worry about it. Because it's the people who are unaware that this is actually a problem for. And I know you can all think of people in your life who are over the top boastful about their accomplishments and just kind of connecting in or recognizing how really unaware of themselves they are. And so, for the vast majority of us, that is not the case. We could be way more proud of who we are and what we stand for than we actually are. So, and as an energy person, as an energy healer, what I want to share with you is that this judgment of self and the way these critical aspects come in, and even telling ourselves that we're too proud or too selfish, it's a huge energy sink. So we lose a lot of energy in playing those patterns and habits in our lives. And one way to interrupt that is self-gratitude. So just for a moment, imagine that you could turn down the volume of judgment and be proud of yourself. And just, what does that feel like? You could just be proud of yourself. Let that like grow in your heart. Because when we think in judgment or a lack of worth or a lack of self-respect, what we are thinking we are not is actually keeping us from what we already are. And so, what could you say to yourself with gratitude? Think of that spectacular moment that we started class off with today. That moment when you were really successful. That's the feeling that we're after. I'm grateful to myself for, and fill in the blank. So if this is hard to do, what's one thing that you do at work or at home with your family or with your teams, wherever, that goes unnoticed, but is valuable? What are some of those things? Capture them, write them down. You are valuable. So, and it's true that our teams, our families, the groups we're a part of, they thrive when people can receive appreciation as well as give it. We can only give as much as we receive. And the truth is that you're amazing. You're needed. You're unique in this life. There's absolutely no pressure to be anyone else but who you already are, just like you already are. And not enough people hear that from our world today. And if it's hard for you, if you feel into that, this idea that you're amazing and we need you, just sort of check in with your body. Can you receive that with a yes? Can you hear that as a compliment? Or do you hear like a, yeah, but this problem or that thing, or maybe not me, or you ready to bounce that truth right away from you? I would just say that if you don't have gratitude for yourself, if you don't have any of that feeling within you of that you really are needed and unique and um, amazing in this life, then the gratitude that comes for you really can't land. And a lot of the gratitude that you're giving out might not be able to land just like you want it either. So our bodies just label it as that platitude. Never really gets in deep. So, but when you practice acknowledging your own effort, your own growth, your own presence, you build this foundation inside that gets strong enough to receive that appreciation, to know that kind of being that vulnerable with someone is okay without collapsing or doubting or deflecting all this beauty that's coming for you. It's kind of reminding yourself that self-gratitude isn't self-indulgence. It's what helps make that external gratitude, what comes from everybody else, feel real. So, and for me, I have to be really intentional about allowing that in and really intentional about talking to myself with that gratitude voice. So, I've got to, tomorrow before you read your first email, I want you to pause. and acknowledge something about yourself just for showing up, just for being born in this life, not for any other reason than that you're here. And so, and I want you to try to build a habit around that gratitude of self, because our instincts and our habits are often going in the other direction. And, and although we're talking a lot about how to think about this, it's also a body skill. So recognizing what gratitude feels like in the body, that's kind of why I had you start there. And for me, like I was mentioning, it does feel like an openness in the chest. There is an ease that comes to my breath, maybe a warmth in the sternum. And so it helps to kind of feel into the body aspects of this, to just sort of expand it, to take it from that idea that it's outside of you to bring it inside of you and let the body really feel it, because it is this beautiful, expansive state. And then research has also shown that it helps create a safe signal for your nervous system. So it helps bring you down out of fight or flight, or even make it a little bit, you have a little bit more capacity to stay out of fight or flight than rather to go in there. And so it really does create this sense of safety that makes it easier to connect and receive and trust when you're in gratitude. The other really cool thing, I mean, I think you all know on some level how valuable gratitude is. But one of the really cool things to bring attention to is that gratitude also isn't a toxic positivity. It's not about forcing positivity in your life. Instead, it can lift your emotional baseline. You can feel better without bypassing your reality. It doesn't deny the challenges that you have in your life, but it brings clarity and access to the resourcefulness inside of them. So that's what I think is really cool about gratitude is it's like, if you're really having not a great day and joy feels elusive and you can't get there, gratitude is one of those pieces that can say, I know I'm having a bad day and I can still be grateful for blah, 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 blah. And that's the really cool part is that gratitude often helps us feel more like ourselves, because it reminds us of when we say what we're grateful for and even what we're grateful for about ourselves, it reminds us of what we value in this life, because that's what we're grateful for. And it reminds us of what we can feel and acknowledge and then move all of those pieces in the same direction. So I want to move into a meditation just to kind of help bring this, I don't know, bring this feeling more prominent into your bodies. And, but I want you to be thinking about too, like how you can carry gratitude into the rest of your day and into the rest of your week, so that you can start to feel it more in your body and really starting to recognize those cues. So, let's meditate, and then I'm going to teach you one more practice. Okay. So, when you're ready, I want you to just close your eyes. If you feel comfortable, just close them and see how all of that external input, right? Your attention naturally draws inward when you close your eyes. And I want you to focus on your breath today. You can notice the air entering your nostrils and leaving. Or you could bring all of your attention to the rise and the fall of your chest or shoulders as you breathe in and out. Or to the sound of your breath. But let all of your attention go to one of those aspects of your breath, either what it feels like in your nose or the rise and fall of your chest, the sound of your breath. This is just the simple rhythm of being alive. And if your thoughts want to run all over the place, just notice that it's natural, but bring them back to your breath. There's a thought that isn't about my breath, and then bring it back. Here's my breath. And then bring your attention just gently to your belly and take a big, deep, slow belly breath. Just noticing what's there, tightness or ease or numbness or warmth. What's it feel like in your belly today? Notice if you're still with us and see if you can scan for one place in your body that feels even a little bit amazing. Maybe it's an elbow or your toe or your lungs or your heartbeat. Just a little bit amazing. Just leaning into that feeling, that one spot in your body that feels alive, it feels amazing. And you're letting your system know that it's safe to feel amazing. And see if you can bring a bigger truth to this. See if you can say to yourself, I am amazing. Not just your elbow or your toe, but all of you. If I am amazing, just say that inside your head. And just like we were talking about, see if there's any resistance to that idea that you are amazing. And maybe meet that resistance if it's there with compassion. Yeah, it makes sense that this feels unfamiliar. No one taught me, no one ever told me before that I'm amazing. It doesn't make it any less true. You are amazing. You are needed, unique. You're here with purpose. Try it again. Say, I am amazing inside that gorgeous head of yours. And feel how your breath supports that. Feel how your body holds, I am amazing. Let yourself notice what that feels like. And now I want you to imagine that there's a great big golden sun above your head. It's filled with your light, with your energy. And I want you to imagine that you could call your energy back from anywhere you might have left it, any time, any person you might have left it with. Call it back to this golden sun and let that golden sun grow big and bright. Maybe it expands to 3 times the size it was before. And then choose a vibration you want to experience more of. Maybe it's amazingness, but maybe it's love or clarity or freedom or joy or peace. You know the right one. Whatever comes to you is best, but pick one and write that word on the outside of the sun and let that energy become that vibration. Now imagine letting it pour into you. So form a hole in the bottom of that golden sun and let the light flow into the top of your head. And your only job is to notice what it feels like as this light pours into your body, into this space behind your ears, into your jaw, your chin, your neck. What does it feel like as it flows through your shoulders, down your arms, and into your fingertips? What does it feel like as it fills your heart space, the front of your body, the back of your body, and the sides? All the cells and all the spaces in between the cells in your torso, all those organs, into your hips, your pelvic bowl, into your thighs, your knees, your ankles, your toes. There's so much energy that it's going to spill out the bottom of your feet and surround you. Take a breath in this moment. Remind yourself, I am amazing. I am worth appreciating. I am grateful for myself and this life. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and stretch your body. Welcome back. I'm really proud of you. That can be kind of challenging sometimes, but you're all in it and you suck in there and you really are amazing. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you showed up today. So let that sink in. Let that sink in. How does that feel to be grateful for yourself and to feel it from me? And that's what I really want to challenge you with is that the next time someone gives you gratitude, I want you to pause. I want you to force yourself to receive it, to really let it into the body, to let that feeling that we've been practicing today, let that be anchor for you and acknowledge it and let it in. It's going to feel so good to let that come inside and really fortify you. You'll already have this aspect of you that knows how incredible you are, but it's also wonderful to receive it because then when you receive it, you can give it to others. And it's how we remember that nothing is missing within us. There's nothing wrong with us. Every moment that we thank yourself and others, you open wider to the love that's already here for you. And that gratitude is a way to come home to yourself. So I'm going to put my information in the chat. I teach several courses on fuel, so I hope you will check that out. My website and my business is called A Light Insight. So that's how you can find me. And yeah, if you want to go deeper with gratitude or find out more about where you're blocking yourself with some of the judgment or the self-talk, connect with me. I'd love to help you find a way through. And that's what I do. So know that I'm so grateful again for you to be here and for Fuel for hosting Mindful Mondays. Danielle will be here next week for Thanksgiving. She's got a great course planned for you. And then Thanksgiving, of course, is a great time to recognize all that you're grateful for, but try not to do it in that platitude way. Try to bring it all the way in. So good work today, everybody. I'll see you next time.